Hello and welcome back to Boring Dad Gaming, where today we're going to be carrying on with Pentiment. So we have completed the first stage of our mural, I think, which we painted on the theme of human sacrifice, as you do. So I figure at some point we're going to get flack for that. I might even head straight to the Rathaus to see if anyone's going to object. I'm guessing there's going to be crowd of angry villagers baying for blood, but we'll see. Who's this? Craft. What's all this stuff? Hey Magdalene, come to admire a well-chiseled craftsman at his best. Oh, where? I can't see one. Ouch, I suppose I stepped into that one. Have you come to see the repairs I've been doing then? To tell the truth, it's not going as well as I'd hoped. What seems to be the issue? I assumed I'd hit a snag, either when it came to the stone or the tools, or my lack of artistic skill. But it's more than that. It's like, in my head I can't see the right way. Besides, my dad wants me to help out on the farm more. I want to be there, but Grandpa taught me everything about the craft. He really wanted me to succeed, and I do enjoy the work. It's as if I can talk to the stone, you know? Not literally, but I can see how lines of tension flow through the rock. I understand how to form one thing from the other, how to create, make something that lasts. Grandma even offered to sponsor an apprenticeship under a master stonemason. Dad will support me either way, but I still feel like I'm being pulled in both directions at once, you know? If you can support your family and it makes you happy, it's the right choice. When you say it, it sounds the most reasonable way, doesn't it? I still can't get away from the doubts. No one can fully escape their doubts, but don't let that stop you. God, I wish I had your confidence and fortitude. Did you learn all that from Klaus? Christ, this is hard. I don't know what to do. I think you should take the apprenticeship. It's better than staying in Tassing, right? I don't know. I like it here and have enough experience from Grandpa to keep going. Besides, if I'm gone, there will be no one to look after the town's stone. The church's foundation's in serious condition, and who's to say there won't be another flood come spring? No, I think I should stay. I'll have to tell Grandma I've made up my mind soon. Well, thanks for listening to me, Magdalene. That's what friends are for, right? Well, work beckons. Father Thomas asked me to reinforce the walls of the church. To be honest, I'd like to reuse stones from the ruins of the abbey, but Father Thomas forbids it. Says it's unseemly. It's just quality stone going to waste. I don't get it. He's being meek as he always is. No, I don't understand Father Thomas sometimes. Alright, stay well. Until later, Magdalene. Until then, Craft. Apollo's here. I wonder how their trick went. Hey, Magdalene. Get your speech bubble out of the way, because I'm going to North Town. Oh, wait. I just noticed. This. What on earth is going on with him? Wait a minute. This is spilled wine coming from the tavern, right? It's absolutely... Or is it blood from a headwind? I don't know. I think he's absolutely hammered. Hey, wake up! Prod him with our foot. You were supposed to come and check on Dad today. Oh, I don't have enough strength to carry him home. I have to tell someone. Maybe Baltus. They're still on friendly terms. Gnazzu could help. Or Big Jorg. He's strong. He can do it. Ugh, what a mess. Let's go to the rat house. I want to see if we can see our mural. Ah, no, it's undercover. Okay. Fair dues. So that's one section, so I presume this is going to be two sections. Looks like... And maybe that'd be more recent history. So we're going to have at least one section on sort of the Roman history. Oh, no, probably the Christian history, isn't it? I'd imagine, yeah. That's what we're researching now. Okay, let's go and... What into the Stoll's house? I want to know if there's... No, he's passed out. I wonder if there's anything in here that give any insight into him. there is particularly. I just want to see if there's anything incriminating. We are still pursuing the spider at the centre of the web of this conspiracy that's been going on in the town. And I do call it a conspiracy. I don't think it's the work of a sole person, basically. Hello, Baltus. Do you have a moment?
Only one, I'm afraid. What can I do for you?
I came across a book about the history of tassing, and I was hoping you could help me read it.
Oh, no, not today. I'm far too busy for that at the moment. Gnazio and I have our hands full preparing the Christmas ale, you see.
Oh, of course. Sorry to bother you.
Not at all. Apologies I couldn't be of more help.
Can we talk to him about Werner?
Yeah, hello, Magdalene. What can I do for you? We did not have a lesson planned for today, did we?
No, Baltus. This is about a different matter. I found Dr. Stoltz passed out drunk in the commons, sleeping in a ditch.
Yeah, I see. This is becoming an increasing problem, isn't it? I shall fetch Gnazio, and we shall carry him home safely. Thanks for letting me know, Magdalene.
Nod. Can we talk to Gnazio? Ciao, Magdalene. Hello, Gnazio. How are you?
Ah, I am well. The winter is approaching quickly, no? What is it you say here? Perked pinching at your nose.
You've caught on to our customs quickly.
Ah, yes. Baldas is a good teacher. He has explained many of your funny Bavarian sayings to me. I must admit they are rather charming, even if the language is a bit rough on my tongue.
Will you be staying in Tassing long enough to learn more of our funny sayings?
Nah, I should return to Genoa soon, but Baldas and I still have some business to conduct. It has taken longer than I anticipated to complete. His accounts are complex. I may be forced to remain a few more weeks. Dio, who knows?
I pray you'll be able to return home before winter sets in.
Thank you, Magdalene. I only wish to return to Genoa before any heavy snowfall. Otherwise my journey will take twice as long.
I'll let you get back to work then.
Grazie, Magdalene. Until later.
Alright, well, we've taken care of Werner at least. So in terms of, obviously Werner's out for the count, so in terms of who we can talk to about this book. Gertrude or Father Thomas are probably the two remaining options. So we can do Father Thomas on the way out of town. So we'll go do him on the way to the convent. Is he in the church perhaps?
God bless you, Magdalene.
And God bless you, Father Thomas. Do you have a moment?
Of course. What can I help you with?
I wanted to ask you about Tassing's saints. I'd like to represent them in the Rat House.
Oh, I'm thrilled to hear it. The saints will make a wonderful centerpiece for the murals.
Not as a centerpiece, simply as a part of Tassing's history.
Of course. I consider our saints to be central to Tassing's history. Kiesau's too. But you know there is one saint you're overlooking.
Contemplate this.
Why, the Blessed Virgin, of course, Mary. Many people forget that Mary is the greatest saint. And she visited one of the peasants here in Tassing centuries ago.
The Virgin Mary appeared in Tassing. Why?
Yes, she appeared to give a message. Centuries ago, a farmer in the field behind us had 3 visions of Mary. In the first, she told him that she wanted him to tell the Bishop of Freising that she had appeared. The peasant travelled down to Freising, but the bishop would not see or hear him.
That's not a short trip.
It certainly is not, for the peasant had received a holy vision. What else could one do in the face of a divine revelation?
Oh, when you put it that way.
The peasant returned to Tassing and had another vision in the field. The Virgin showed him a pattern, a labyrinth. She told him to draw it on a sheet of birch bark and bring the drawing to the Bishop of Freising.
Why didn't she just give him the labyrinth the first time?
The bishop attempted to turn the peasant away, but he could see the drawing of the labyrinth in his hands. It was the same image that the bishop had seen in a dream 3 nights earlier. He met with the peasant, who told him of the 2 apparitions he had seen here in Tassing. The bishop was moved by the peasant's story, and he came here to Tassing.
The bishop came here?
He did. It's the only time the bishop has ever come to Tassing. And when the bishop came, Mary appeared to both of them. She told the farmer that the town needed to build this church. She told the bishop to support the town.
I had no idea that's where all of this came from.
It's not a story I tell much anymore. I suppose the people here think of Moritz and Satya, their connection to this place. Mary is such a core part of their prayers, they forget about our particular Mary. But in any case, Our Lady's demands were clear, so the bishop helped fund the creation of this church. The people of Tassing have been using it ever since.
You're not from Tassing. How did you hear the story?
True, I'm not. The people told me when I came. And the former priest told them when they were children, and so on. The priest and the flock have shared their responsibility of passing on the story over the centuries.
Thank you for the story, Father Thomas.
Have I convinced you to include the saints prominently in the mural?
I'm still considering it.
Well, if deliberation fails you, perhaps you will find that prayer gives you greater clarity. God bless you and your work, Magdalene.
God bless you, Father Thomas. All right. I think our next stop's Gertrude up at the convent. Who's this? Martha and Carl. Why has he got a spoon in his hat?
It's so beautiful here, Martha. Oh, one more moment.
All right, take your time. Oh, hello, Magdalene. Dad, look who it is.
Good morning, Mistress Druckerin.
Hello, Martha. Carl, how are you today?
Our usual walk around town. November hasn't grown too cold yet. Dr. Stoll says Dad needs to keep using the leg or the pain will get worse.
Oh, I'm getting old.
Not so old you can sit around at home telling stories.
You listen to your daughter, Carl?
Yeah, you young girls think you're my keeper, is that it?
I've always been your keeper, Dad.
No arguments for me there.
Sounds like you have Martha to thank for your health.
Given the alternative is Werner, I'm glad to have something. Can't even find his ass with both hands.
Dad!
What? Anton would have made a better doctor than him. Ah, Anton, my poor boy.
It's all right, Dad.
I'm sorry, Carl.
It's not your fault, Magdalene, just a babe then. I can't, it's my fault that he died.
It's not, Dad. You know it's not.
He shouldn't have been with me that night. He shouldn't have, I was a fool.
What happened? I know I was there, but all I remember is the flames.
Oh, what a fire it was. The whole abbey engulfed. I was bleeding. Anton tried to drag me out the fight. Then that godforsaken Lanschnecht stepped between us. I hope he burns in hell.
I can't even imagine what that was like. I think of my mother every day. Nothing can make up for a loss like that.
I pray I will see him in death.
Dad, it's not good for you to dwell on these memories.
I know. Permit an old man in his weakness.
How old were you during the revolt, Martha?
7 or so. I didn't understand what was happening. Someone brought Dad home in the middle of the night. It was dark, confusing. They were screaming outside. Mum and a couple of the men who brought Dad in were trying to patch out the wound, but it wouldn't stop bleeding. She kept shouting, "Where's Anton? Where's Anton?" There was blood on the floor.
You cried so much you threw up. We couldn't get you to stop.
I couldn't explain where Anton had gone. Dad tried to explain, but...
Martha, my dear, enough of that.
So sorry. How did you go on?
Did I? I don't know. Some nights I think I'm there still. The abbey's always burning. My Helena passed not long after. I was left low with Martha to care for.
I can't remember who Carl is. May the Lord bless and keep her.
As he keeps your mother, Magdalene. I had to keep going for Martha, and somehow my daughter grew up into a wonderful woman despite it all. Suppose that was all Helena's doing.
Dad! If I'm any good, it's because of you.
Thank you for telling me about that night, Carl. Martha?
Time doesn't heal, Magdalene, but it does dull the ache.
It's time we continue with the walk, Dad.
Yes, dear. I'm feeling much more alive now.
Be well, you two. Yeah, I can't remember who he is. There's a lot of characters in this game. I'm going to take a quick stroll through the forest first, just check out what's happening there. Anything new? I don't think there is. Let's go up to the Abbey. Talk to Gertrude first, and then we'll try and get into the Abbey itself. I should talk to Sister Gertrude, since she was a Benedictine nun at Kiersau before the poor Clares arrived. She would be able to tell me all about the convent's history for the mural. Yep. Here she is.
God bless you, Magdalene.
Hello, sister. I have a favour to ask of you.
Of course, Magdalene. I'll help however I can.
I have a book, the History Tessier, and I can't read it very well. Can you help me translate it?
Oh, I'm afraid my Latin isn't good enough to translate something like that. Its grammar structures are far too complex. I'm sorry, Magdalene.
Oh, that's all right, sister. I'll have to find another way. There was one more thing, if you don't mind. It's about the Rat House mural.
Oh, did you need more paint? I believe I have enough galls stored away.
No, thank you, sister. I have more than enough paint. I wanted to ask you about the history of Kiersau, actually. I'd like to include the Abbey's founding and the history of Tassing Saints to the Rat House mural. I wish this bug would stop flying around in front of her face. I wrote to Reverend Matthew since he lived at the Abbey, but wanted to see the place firsthand.
Ah, Brother Matthew became a reverend, did he? He was always suited to such a role.
But I don't suppose that's why you came up what you came up the hill for.
You're curious about the saint's history, yes?
Yes, I was hoping you'd show me around the convent and tell me about its history.
The poor Clares don't allow outsiders within the convent, even other women. Mother Francisca wouldn't like anyone coming in for such a worldly concern.
Oh, that makes my job difficult.
Let me finish, Magdalene Druckrin. However, Mother Francisca always welcomes those who are considering joining the order. If a young woman sincerely considered joining the convent, she may be allowed to enter and observe the sisters. Who knows what else she may discover while contemplating the holy life?
I've always been drawn to your veil, sister. There's something about the fashion.
Touring the convent will take some time. Would you like to go and see Mother Francisca now?
No, I want to go and see the Abbey first.
Very well. Come find me if you change your mind. God bless you, Magdalene.
Yeah, if that's going to be a time-constrained activity, I want to poke around the Abbey a bit first, if I can. Huh. What did it say about that? Oh, we could talk to her. I forgot about Elsa. We should talk to her. Oh, we need to talk to Sister Gertrude about the convent and the Abbey. Okay. Well, let's go and talk to Elsa first, if that's going to eat up some time. I quite like that story about the Virgin Mary and the peasant having to keep trailing off to go and speak to this bishop. That might be the one I end up using, but let's go and talk to Elsa first. Got a pet shoes. Suze. Oh, he's a good boy. I'm guessing she's inside. There she is. I think she was Irish, wasn't she?
Magdalene, dear, what brings you up the hill?
Dad suggested to ask about your family for the mural. He said your sister used to tell him about your family history. Your family name was Caviezel, wasn't it? Or Caviezel.
Oh. Not a soul in town has asked me about my family in years. I was beginning to think my neighbours had forgotten us. I am not surprised your father remembers the Caviezels. He was sweet on my sister before he met your mother. I am the last of us left now.
You say it's Caviezel, not Caviezeline?
I've always been called Caviezel, as were my mother's and sisters and mother, and her mother before her. My grandfather told me the Caviezels have lived in this area for hundreds of years.
Perhaps even 1,000, though it seems impossible to imagine a time so long ago. The Cavizels were pagans? Yes, the original Bavarian people. Don't know where that's going. Here, even before the Romans. My grandfather said his grandfather told him the Cavizels resettled the town after the Romans left. Built their new home right on the spot where they'd been living when the Romans arrived. Oh, that's just a story. How do you know any of it's true? I heard it from my family. Do you think they would lie? I think they could misremember or forget. Why does a story need to be true? However true it may or may not be doesn't matter, Magda. It matters that I believe it, that it connects me to my ancestors. When I think of the ancient Cavizels driven from their land, only to find it again and become Christians, they feel nearer to me. Do you understand? It's like when my dad tells me stories about courting my mum. I don't remember her face, but when he tells me about her smile, I can almost recall it. Yes, it doesn't matter whether you really remember. When I sing my sister's favourite songs to Ulrike, I may not know all the words anymore, but that's all right. Just as I may not exactly know how the Cavizels resettled Tassing. I don't know how to say that. Cavizel. There's an actor called Jim Caviezel, I think, and I'd never known how to pronounce his last name. What matters is that I feel close to her, and them, even though they're so far from me now. That is what stories are for, Magda. Now, go on. You've got a mural to complete. Thank you. Also, you give me much to consider. God bless you, Magdalene, dear. Okay. I don't think I'm going to use that. Still leaning towards doing the Mary story. I'm just imagining that peasant getting back to his field. Oh, bloody hell, I've got to go all the way across Germany again. Alright, let's do the Gertrude thing then. It's going to take eat up a bit of time, however. God bless you, Magdalene. Would you like to go inside and meet with Mother Francisca now? Yep, let's go. Mother Francisca, I'd like to introduce Magdalene Druckrein. The printer's daughter, yes. God bless you, Magdalene. Father Thomas told us of your father's condition, and we pray for his recovery daily. Oh, thank you, Abbess. Such is our duty to serve the Lord and community that provides for us. Now, what is this all about? Sister Gertrude, you know our holy rules. Why bring young Mistress Druckerein to me? Forgive me, Mother. Magdalene is searching for a place in the world and is contemplating the holy life. I thought observing the sisters might aid her in her spiritual search. She was encouraged by the idea. Right, yeah. I wonder that you've never come up to the Abbey before, Mistress Druckerein. God is calling you to the convent. I am more than willing to help you fulfill that divine cause. What brought this change on? Why are you interested in joining the Poor Clares? I had a holy vision. Saint Satya told me I was destined for higher things. Mistress Magdalene, would you describe this vision for me? Receiving a message from God is a grave matter. I was sitting under the oak tree by the shrine, and Satya appeared to me? She told me that I was called to greater things than petty art. The Lord often calls us beyond the mundane. Did Satya say anything else? She told me to pay homage to her to bless me. Homage to her to bless me. I woke up and was so shaken by the whole affair I came here straight away. You were quite wise to do so. Receiving a message from the Lord must have been quite a shock. I suggest you ask Father Thomas about this vision. He has the education to best aid you there. I'll do that, thank you, Mother. While I can't speak to the vision itself, I'm happy to tell you about the Poor Clares. Here we are in the Abbey. Our small convent used to be part of the larger Kearsau double monastery, as I'm sure you've been told by Sister Gertrude. However, the Poor Clares live far differently than the Benedictines that once lived here. We believe it is not ours to produce, and live solely on the alms of the community of Tassing as they see fit to give. Likewise, none of the sisters here own any personal property. We share this convent as a gift from the church. We believe that the Lord called us into a life of poverty and service. Does such a life appeal to you, Magdalene? I'm not entirely certain yet. I'd like to explore and look around, get a feel for the place.
Magdalene, you must not have understood me. We have deliberately closed ourselves off from the world. I won't have a laywoman bothering the sisters from their duties or disturbing our rule. However, I will allow Sister Suzanne to show you our duties. Please take your time. When you're finished, please come and find me and we will discuss your decision to join.
Finally, I thought she'd never finish. What? Truthfully, I'm not here to join the convent. I'm looking for references for a mural I'm painting in the rat house. Time to start exploring. You can either come or not. Up to you.
But Mother Francisca said...
She said that as long as I'm with you, it's fine to look around. Are you really going to get us both in trouble?
No, I always follow Mother Francisca's orders. The convent has many parts. The kitchen, the loquarium, the chapter house, the yard, and the old workshop. Though no one uses that old shed anymore. I'll leave you to decide where to go first.
Right, well, convent chapel's right there. Let's do that. Oh, here's Gertrude.
This is the chapel where we all gather for Mass and liturgy. It's the oldest part of the convent. And the most draughty.
Hello again, Sister Gertrude.
The sisters have done some minor retouches over the years, but it's represented the abbey from its earliest days.
Oh, there's the tower and the library. The cloister is still being constructed here. Yes, the tower was a Burgfried long before the structure became a monastery.
The duchy gifted it to the Benedictine order after the Holy Roman Empire grew. They had no use for it as a keep. These walls have protected Tassing from attacks of spirit and steel for generations.
There's some Latin here too, but I can't read it very well.
God called Lady Sabine to lead our sisters and brothers in 1261. Lord Kearsarge's castle was destroyed by fire in the year of the death of Emperor Frederick II. Only the tower remained. Thank you, Sister Suzanne. Yes, the first lists the abbey's founding date. The Lady Kearsarge was actually the one to suggest the old castle be turned into a double monastery. We added the second shortly after the revolt. Mother Illuminata thought it would be fitting, even if the sisters were not here, some record of what occurred would remain. Kearsarge was unique, a double monastery with 2 saints, 1 male and 1 female, to guard the town and abbey.
So the foundation of the abbey was even older than the Holy Roman Empire. Many things have been built and torn down on this land over generations. Who knows what else used to be here? You're right, sister. This mural would be a great reference for the rat house.
Then I'm glad to have helped. God bless you, Magdalene.
Okay, that was useful. Well, there's Marguerite. Oh, we'll talk to Marguerite.
God bless you, Magdalene.
We go in the kitchen, I suppose.
This is the kitchen. There's not anything interesting here. Sister Marie and Sister Isabeau take care of most of the kitchen duties, but everyone pitches in when needed.
Okay. Talk to Marie.
God bless you, child. Are you delivering something?
No, sister, I'm learning more about the convent's history so I can finish a mural in town.
Ah, I see. This kitchen has been used for decades, longer than I've been alive, to be sure. I enjoy preparing meals for the sisters that nourish us, but I can never bring myself to butcher the animals. Sister Isabeau has graciously taken on that task for me. We need sustenance, but I feel butchering any animal is wrong according to the rule of St. Francis. To cause suffering to any living creature is unnecessary and evil, even if God granted Adam and Eve dominion over the animals.
The kitchen seems fairly simple. Is there anything here from the convent's founding days?
No more than the structure itself, I'm afraid. Cookware needs replacing over the years. Though some nights a ghost appears to me by the cook fire, a lost spirit trapped between heaven and hell. Sister Marie, not this again. Not to Magdalene, please.
What made you think you saw a spirit, sister?
The figure rose up from the very ground we stand on at vigils not a fortnight ago. Dawn and dusk are the hours when the boundaries between this world and the spiritual world were the weakest. We may be the newest arrivals here, but this convent is very old. Perhaps there was something Roman underneath its foundation centuries before. The spirit may seek to know the presence of God now that it rests on holy ground.
Spirit in Kearsau. Why would it come to the convent, though? Breaks my heart to think the spirit was crying out for help, trapped beyond heaven's reach. Why do we keep going, Magdalene? It's better not to get Sister Marie too upset. Of course. God bless you, sister. God bless you, child. Isabeau?
God bless you, Magdalene.
God bless you, sister. How goes the cooking?
As well as the Lord wills it. My old fingers fumble from time to time, but it's my privilege to prepare supper for the other sisters.
That's very noble of you.
Just as God gave Paul a thorn in his side, so too did he give me the pains of age to strengthen my faith. Such things are a blessing when compared to the pains Christ carried upon the cross.
But didn't Christ die so we don't have to suffer unnecessarily?
In the next life, yes, but even Christ said we would face hardships while we live on this earth. I've chosen to find meaning and devotion to the Lord through my hardship.
Don't really understand, but I'm glad it helps you persevere.
Thank you, child. God bless you.
Right, not too useful in here. The thing about the spirit was interesting, though. Not that we'd use it in the mural, I don't think, but still. Okay, there's the courtyard.
Oh, it's colder today. There's not much in the yard that could help you, I think. Anything that was here long has been covered in weeds. All I know about this place is that the walls were added when the convent was built onto the monastery. Oh, God bless you, Sister Benedicta. Sister Suzanne, God bless you. Oh, this ice is hard.
Do I recognise you, Sister Benedicta? I think I've seen you in town once or twice.
Yes, you'd have seen her. Sister Benedicta is one of the youngest of the sisters. Mother Francisca allows only one sister to deal with the townsfolk, and Benedicta received this privilege. Burden more like. I have to run round everywhere, gathering all the food and doing all the chores. I'd rather be inside where it's warm. What are you doing up in the convent, anyway?
Snooping.
Oh, don't let me get in the way, then. What an adventure.
Actually, Sister Benedicta, I wanted to ask you some questions. Do you like being a nun?
Oh, yes, I don't mind it at all. It's far quieter than home, and I don't have to share my bed with my siblings anymore. I like to help the older sisters, and I don't mind the chores, except when it's cold like this.
One more question, Sister Benedicta. Have you seen any mysterious figures or ghosts lately?
Ghosts? No, everything's been normal recently. Haven't noticed anything odd. Is this about Sister Marie's ghost? I think it's Mauritius myself. Oh, no.
Who?
Mauritius! Don't tell Mother Francisca this, but I found an old book about Christian legends hidden in the workshop. It said that a Roman commander named Mauritius conquered Tassing, but the colony failed. Most of the town was empty until Christian refugees found the town hidden in the valley. It was a miracle.
Christian refugees?
Yes, the book said they were fleeing Roman persecution. Maybe under Nero? I don't remember. Anyway, when Sister Marie said she saw a ghost, I thought it must be Mauritius trying to get us out. A Roman ghost couldn't be happy about his tower being turned into an abbey, could he?
What did you do with this book, sister?
Oh, well, I had it with me in the kitchen one day, and I accidentally laid the fire poker on it.
It must be completely destroyed.
I tried to fix it, but it's unreadable now. Sorry, Magdalene.
I suppose it's better the book got some use before it was lost forever. Besides, that story gives me ideas for the Rat House mural. Thanks for telling me about the book, sister. I won't tell Mother Francisca. God bless you, sister.
Thanks, Magdalene. God bless you.
The Convent Art Studio. Oh.
The workshop is covered in dust. Yes, this was the Benedictine sisters' workshop. They used to make badges and art for pilgrims coming to see the hand of St. Moritz. It looks like everything was left here, just left here after the fire. Nothing's been used in years. Oh, sorry, that was us. We can't subsist on painting, and the poor Clares don't produce goods for sale, so we have no reason to be in here.
But art allows us to find beauty in life. Even Christ said that the Father clothed the lilies of the field in beauty.
I agree, but it's not the rule of the poor Clares. Mother Francisca considers art a temptation into hedonism. Mother Francisca doesn't let us come in here unless to put something in storage. I've come in a few times and noticed some of the brushes have gone missing. Paint pots too.
You think one of the sisters is secretly painting?
Oh, Lord, no. We all live too close together in the convent for something like that to go unnoticed.
In any case, I think it's sad that the workshop is left like this. Truthfully, Magdalene, I don't think you should join the convent, even if that's not what you were here to do anyway. Gertrude talks about you and you seem to love your art. Without it, you'd hate it here. Such valuable paint left to dry and crack on the palettes. There's an old parchment scrap here. It's different to the others. It looks like a scrap from a manuscript. There's something written in Latin in the margin. Mithraeum tassiae de meo occultus est. It says, the Mithraeum of Tassing has been destroyed by a flood. Mithraeum, that's the same word I saw in the Roman section of the mine. Wait, this might be from the book Sister Benedicta found. I wonder why it would mention the Mithraeum. I don't know. It's not a word I've ever heard before. There's certainly nothing in the convent by that name. Well, the note says the Mithraeum was destroyed, so I don't suppose it matters much now. These old badges are beautiful. I hope the pilgrims who brought them love them too. Bought them, I hope. Okay. Alright, so we can't go further that way. I want to go and find the old workshop. Here's the Luquarium. Most of the Abbey's visitors come in here, but aren't allowed to enter. We aren't allowed to go into the outside world either. Like Mother Francisca said, isolation is a part of our vows. Sister Gertrude once told me the old Benedictine sisters used to go out into town sometimes, and even talk to men on occasion. And I'm stuck here, staring at these walls for the rest of my life. You didn't always want to be a Poor Clare sister? Ha! No, who would want to be a nun? My father promised me to the church as a baby, some oath he swore when my mother struggled in her pregnancy. So there I was, dropped into the Poor Clares the summer I turned 17. I'm sorry, no one should be forced into a life they don't want. We daughters are born to bear our family's legacy. Between our legs or on our backs, it doesn't matter. My family's devoted to the church. I've only been in the convent for 2 years, but I'm trying my best. I don't mind the prayers or the hours, and I'm sure of my devotion to the Lord, but this isn't what I wanted. But since when did a woman ever get what she wanted without being punished? Eve couldn't even manage it. I understand. I have more autonomy to go where I want, but I'm still bound by the expectations of marriage and homemaking. I remember the days of running around town. I wish I could have gotten married. I wanted to be a mother. Sometimes I get jealous of Sister Gertrude and even Sister Marguerite. At least they got to see something of the outside world before they were 20. If you could do anything else, what would it be? I would have liked to go to one of the big cities, at least once. I would have been happy just to be a shopkeeper's wife. Thanks for listening, Magdalene. Anyway, let me show you the rest of the cloister. Lead on. Well, you've seen the entire convent. There's not much here. What did you think of it? I can see why people choose the holy life, but it's not for me, not without art. I understand. You've dedicated your whole life to your work. You'd struggle to give that up now. It's been so long since I've spoken to anyone from outside the convent. I'm reminded of the life I once had. Now you have me thinking about whether or not I should remain with the sisters. I think you should go. Oh, we did it! Haggle background. Disobeyed the mother, agreed that being forced into convent is wrong, and asked what Suzanne wants to do with life. Boom, 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 boom. You never chose this life. You deserve to have the life you truly want. Magdalene, I think you're right. My family's devotion doesn't have to be mine. Maybe I can find a way out in time. I'll help however I can, Suzanne. I'm sure we have some spare provisions at home. Really? Oh, that would be wonderful, so long as no one found out. Anyway, we should return to Mother Francisca before she suspects something. I learned a lot today. Thank you for showing me around the convent. No, thank you, Magdalene. Today has been more interesting than any I can remember in the Abbey. Come, let's find Mother Francisca. She'll be wanting to hear what you thought of the place. Well, Magdalene, what is your assessment of the Poor Clares? Is the good Lord calling you to a life with us as a sister? I think I prefer my books and printing, and in any case I need to finish the mural, then I might take over for my father.
I see. Be careful that this mural does not become an idol for you, Magdalene. Just as Eve had a weaker will than Adam, you are liable to stumble on the fruit of temptation as well. Our community is quite modest compared to the splendor of an old Benedictine house, operating under the rule of a powerful abbot. I see why fewer women are drawn to the order these days.
Thank you for allowing me inside. You're most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. Ah, Magdalene, how did your little expedition go? I learned a lot from seeing the Abbey. I have a good idea of what I'll depict in the mural now. But sister, there's something I don't understand. The Abbey was so prosperous. Why didn't the monks rebuild it after the fire? Oh, what a task that would be. The chapel was beautiful. The stained glass always caught my eye in the mornings. There was a great deal of anger and sadness in Tassing that night. The abbot felt the brothers and sisters were no longer welcome in Tassing and moved on. In truth, the Abbey's dissolution was inevitable. Kearsau was running out of money and patrons. The riot and fire was simply a particularly awful and painful way to end the monastery. Did anything survive the fire? Some of the buildings are intact, but all are terribly overgrown. I haven't dared forage in the rubble. I doubt you'll find anything of help for your mural inside other than charred wood and parchment. It might still be worth taking a look if I'm careful. I worry after you sometimes, Magdalene. I really do. Thank you for your help, Sister Gertrude. You're most welcome, Magdalene. God bless you. I want into the Abbey. 11 a.m. It's not too bad. We'll get plenty done. We're going to, it's saying to go to the ruins of the Abbey to investigate this Mithraeum thing. Wow, that was, I don't know, I did learn more about the founding of Kearsau. And that illustration from the manuscript, the Mithraeum, it was like the one in the mine. Is it part of the history of the Abbey, of Tassing? It must be written down somewhere. If only the library hadn't burned down with everything in it. The ruins are right there. Maybe not everything was destroyed. I'll just go up into the shrine first, just see if there's anything going on in here. It doesn't look like there is. I'll look at the hand, though. Yeah. Not much. However, we can go in the church now. Oh, it's looking kind of blocked. My God, this is amazing. I wonder what it must have looked like before the fire. Everything collapsed in the fire. I'll have to be careful be careful climbing over this rubble to get past. Oh shit. Oh no, I can't get back up there. If I climb it, it might collapse further. I'll have to find another way out. Let's go to the tower. Got some vines. There's nothing left of the old staircase. I guess I can't go this way. These vines go all the way to the top, though. They look sturdy enough to hold my weight. Well, there's no other way out. Years later. I can see all of Tassing from here. I wonder if I can piece together the foundations of the Abbey and find a way to get to the library. I bet I could get down this way. The roof looks pretty stable.
It's quite the sight, isn't it?
Oh, God. I remember when the library burned down. Dad told me I was just a baby, but I remember the flames coming out of the windows. So many people were screaming and running around. I cried myself to sleep that night. I haven't seen this place since then. It doesn't look like there's much left inside. I suppose it was too much to hope for. Well, Magdalene, how are you going to get out of here? These roses seem to have made the abbey their home. Glad something beautiful is still growing here. Let's go to the cemetery.
Never could dig up that grave. We can get into the cloister that way.
These roses seem to have made the abbey their home. Oh no, it's the same line, isn't it?
Oh, okay, actually we can't go down. This way is shut off, so let's go through the cloister then.
Kitty cats! Oh, we can't pet them. I wonder if there are always this many cats at the abbey. Perhaps I can ask Wojlav what he remembers during his time here. Finally found a cat I couldn't pet. This place is a mess. How sad. Door's stuck. Can't get through this way. Oh, what's that? Oh, an old mural. It's worn, but I can still see some of the figures. The Dance of Death. Well, these figures look new. The paint can't be more than a few years old. Someone's been adding to this. This feels wrong. Who would add new figures to the Dance of Death, and why? These are like people from the town, from here. People who died. That must be the Baron. And that's Otto? Which one's Otto? Is that the Baron? I think that's Attilia getting executed. Otto must be under the speech bubble, I think. I don't know who that is. Wait, is that? Someone's here. Hello? Who are you? I think this is I can't remember his name now, the Scouse lad from Salzburg. The one who was apprenticed to Andreas? I think that's him. It looks like him. And that looks a bit like Andreas, crying and being in the flames. Alright, let's go. Let's see if we can chase the one who was just in the room. The door! Whoever was watching me must have opened it. I don't like this. I think I've seen everything left of the Abbey. I want to get out of here. Snowing already? The almanac said it shouldn't start for another week at least. I think we're in for a hard winter. I should go back to the rat house and get to work. We'll check in on Stoltz as well, in case he's had time to sober up, because we do want to find out a bit more about this Latin text in the Tassier. I mean, he lives up by the rat house anyway, so it's kind of en route.
Oh, there's Carl. Stoltz, see what's going on here. Well, he's had time to sober up.
Magdalene, what do you want?
Hello, Dr. Stoltz. I have a book here and I can't read it very well. I was wondering if you could help me translate it.
No.
But
No, Magdalene, I can't be bothered by your lack of literacy.
Hey, it's not stupid and I'm not illiterate.
God damn you, I said no. Leave.
What an ass. Can I talk to him again? No.
Git.
Alright, well, we tried our best. I don't think there's anyone left who can help us. Let's go and work on the Muriel. You're terrible, Muriel.
Magdalene.
Dr. Stoltz?
So you're doing quick work with the mural, eh? I hope that doesn't make you sloppy.
Well, I've rigged the scaffolding sheet so there's enough air can flow through. That way the layers dry quickly.
Now, yes, how very clever of you. In any case, the council wants to hear what you're doing.
I've been researching the early Christian history of Tassing after the Romans left. Learning how people settled in the ruins, how the abbey was founded, why our saints are so important to us. It was a lot to take in, but I've settled on my subject.
And?
I want to show history how it happened. I'll paint Lady Kearsau found in the abbey from the old Bergfried. How about that?
That might rub some people in the town the wrong way. The saints are a core part of Tassing's history, after all. People want to cling to all matters of stories in order to give their lives some meaning. Remember, the mural isn't for your benefit, but to make Tassing look good.
I remember.
Very well.
After this section, there's still so much work to do. I haven't even figured out how I'm going to portray the revolt.
Ah, yes. I imagine it poses difficulties that the other murals do not.
It's a strange thing to tell a story that still lives in the hearts of so many people here. I don't think anyone wants to talk about it. They've all just locked it away.
Sounds like you have your work cut out for you. I'll leave you to it then.
Oh, Dr. Stoltz?
Yes?
Have you ever seen someone lurking around the abbey? Or heard about it?
No, I haven't been up to the Abbey in years, and no, I haven't heard of anything like that. Why?
I've seen someone following me a few times.
No, I don't know anything about it. Now, if there's nothing else.
No, good night, Dr. Stoltz.
Good night, Magdalene.
Now I only have the final part of the mural to finish. How should I paint the revolt? Dad always talked about how the Archdeacon was the only one seeking justice in those days. But what was his name? The only name I can remember is the name of the Archdeacon who came to Tassing when the Baron was killed. Jacob Estler. Maybe he wrote an account of the revolt as an Archdeacon. I'll write to him and ask. And of course I need to write back to Esther too. I'll write them tonight before bed. Okay, well I think we'll do those things and then end the episode at that point. So we're going to write to the Estler and Esther. Jacob Estler, formerly Archdeacon of Freising. My name is Magdalene Druckerine. I'm an artist in the town of Tassing in Upper Bavaria. I believe you passed through our community when you investigated Baron Rothvogel's murder at Kearsau Abbey in 1518. Do you remember anything about that case that the people in Tassing might not remember? Particularly, do you remember anything about someone writing notes to provoke the killer? More have appeared in Tassing in subsequent years, seemingly harbingers of death. Thank you for any help you can give. Magdalene Druckerine. Dearest Esther, I hope you are well. You must know how tremendously happy I am for you and Simond. And Elisha too, of course, and your parents. It warms my heart to know that your family is doing so well. By the time this letter reaches you, I expect winter will have enfolded Tassing. It's already freezing at night, so I've reorganised the workshop so that the inks don't deteriorate. Do you have any worry about that in Prague? You've said it snows, but I always imagined it was warmer in winter. Dad's condition is so much worse and he's in so much pain. Dr. Stoltz has been... well, he's a useless asshole. Only God knows why he's such a bitter old man, but he's neglected Dad almost entirely. Some days he doesn't show up, and even if he does, he just snaps instructions at me and rushes off. I just wish I understand why. I worry about Dad. I've asked Agnes for help, but there's only so much we can do alone. He's not going to make it, and there's nothing I can do. Christ, I'm scared, Esther. The mural is progressing well, but I can't shake the feeling that someone is following me. I keep seeing this figure around town. After I explored the mines to see Tassing's early history, and then again in the Abbey ruins. No one else in Tassing has seen anything, but some of the nuns say they've seen ghosts. It's the strangest thing, given me a fright a few times already. But I don't mean to worry you. Nothing's happened to me yet, so I think I'll be safe. The only good news I can share at the moment is that the mural is almost finished. I should have it completed by Christmas or soon after, before the new year at least. Then perhaps at long last I shall be able to visit you and meet this Simond. Anyway, I fear this will be my last letter of the year. The Reichspost has already been late and reported worsening snows through the passes. We seem to be stepping into a harsh winter. Stay warm and give my regards to your family and Simond. Yours always, Magda. Phew, well, it's 8 o'clock, so I guess it's bedtime. How did this get here? Stop. I can't read what that letter is. Something like Core Oath. This is just like the note Dad found. Who's doing this? I have a feeling I'm going to find out sooner or later. I need to ask Dad about this. It can't be a coincidence. But he's been so weak. I don't want to upset him. I just need to wait for the right time. I hope there is a right time. Ooh. Right, let's get some sleep. And then when we come back, we'll wrap up the episode. It's going to speed up. Here we go. It's going to be December. Here we go. Slowing down. Is it going to be like the 4th of December? There we go. 8 in the morning. Mistress Drugerin, only one letter for you today. This pass. Pass is now impossible to traverse, and the heavy snows are on the horse and me. Anyway, happy Advent, my dear. Thank you, the same to you. Ah, a reply from Jacob Estler. Mistress Druckerine, I do recall the Rothvogel case, though it has been over a decade since I have served as an archdeacon. I am no longer associated with the office of the Prince Bishop. In fact, I am no longer associated with the Catholic Church. If you do not mind conversing with a Lutheran, I will tell you what I can remember. The notes you mentioned do stir something in my memory. One of the men I questioned at Kearsau was an artist from Nuremberg, Andreas Maler. He mentioned finding notes written in a fine hand, inciting individuals to violence against the Baron. While the scope of my investigation was too narrow to look into the matter, it did concern me. Finding more notes now after so many years must mean that their author is still active. If this is the case, a serpent has lain coiled in the bosom of your community for decades. It may lay there still. What causes this serpent to awaken every few years to stage a new killing? I fear that finding the answer to that question may draw you into its reach. However, if you're determined to find the source of the trouble, I believe you must inquire with your neighbours.
I urge caution in your investigation into this matter. If the serpent merely sleeps, it may be dangerous to poke into its old resting places. I hope this has been of some help to you. May God bless and keep you safe. Jacob Estler.
No reply from Esther this time. It must have been delayed due to the heavy snow. The postman said I won't receive any more letters now until spring. I better go back to the rat house then. Still more work to be done. At the rat house. Okay, speeding up again. Now remember, we hope to have it finished by Christmas. Oh my goodness. Okay, it's Christmas Eve. That went quick. Good morning, Dad. I finally caught up on the mural, and now I can start the final part today. I promise I'll get it done.
Magdalene, I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, Dad. I'm sorry Dr. Stoltz said you can't come to the festivities tonight. I know how much you love the Perchtenlauf.
Ah, as always, next year.
Right. About that. How are you feeling? Dr. Stoltz said he would come by again today.
Fine, fine. I'm fine.
Are you sure? Do you need anything?
No, go on. I'm all right. In fact, my spirits are lifted today. It's Christmas Eve after all.
Of course.
What's wrong?
Dad, I found a note back in November.
A note? What do you mean?
It was like a note I found in your plans for the murals. Just a scrap of parchment. It looked like it came out of an old manuscript. Elaborate writing, purple ink. It just said stop. Do you know where they came from? Who wrote them?
Magdalene,
Oh God, that must be Oates. He said he'd drop by with more firewood. If you know something, I'd like you to tell me, all right?
I know I will. Can we talk about it later?
Nod. I'll be back later.
Good. Take care of yourself out there.
Right. So we're going to leave it there for now. When we come back, we'll carry on with recent history, I suppose, and maybe we'll concentrate more on tracking down the author of these mysterious notes that we've been receiving. Feels like it's building towards a bit of a conclusion, perhaps. But I hope you enjoyed this episode. It was good to go into the Abbey again and see what had happened to our old stomping grounds. I hope you enjoyed it too. If you did, then please do hit the like button on the video. If you could subscribe to the channel as well, that'd be fantastic. And I'll hope to see you again for more Pentiment. Bye for now.